Hello friends, today we will review on managing yourself. It is HBR's 10 must-read book. How to manage yourself effectively, especially if you are working as a supervisor, manager in a corporate world. How to be effective, how to be productive in corporate world. So friends, today I will discuss three chapters or 3 points which I liked from the book. The first important point about managing yourself is know yourself. What are your strengths? Do you know what are your strengths? Lot of time we work in organization and our strengths changes over the time. I started in an organization. Initially, I started in the technical role. Over the time, I took management role, and I didn't realize that my strengths have changed over the time. And once I was negotiating with my supervisor, and I told what my strengths were, his assessments were totally different than mine. I was surprised. I started somebody as a person who was not good with people. Over the time I developed soft skills, and I was seen as a person with good soft skills, which was surprise to me. So know your strengths. Second thing you need to know about yourself is what you like to do. What kind of work gives you satisfaction? Again, I started working in a company, and most of the time I started interviewing. Initially, I started enjoying interviewing candidates, hiring them, but over the time, I did not enjoy at all. So, are you doing some work which you enjoy? Then another question you need to ask yourself is where you can be more effective. Are you doing which? Are you doing some work which is making difference? Are you really helping your team? Are you filling a role where your team is big? You are just doing some work to stay busy? Especially if you are in a leadership role and you have various strengths and skill set. So see where you can give where you can be more effective, where you can give the maximum output, where you can help your where you can how you can help your team to reach its goals. Other thing to find out are what are your values. Does your values align with the role organization? Again, I was working in an organization. I am very technology oriented guy. I dumped down my technical skills to fit in that company, and long term it did hurt. So find out what are your values. Do you really think your values align with the group or company that you're working with? Another important thing is what kind of learner you are. How do you learn? It's very important to find out what is your learning style is. There are two type of learning style. One is by listening and one by reading. Personally, I am more geared towards learning by reading. It is unfortunate that our education system focuses on more on listening style of learning. So this book gives examples of two presidents. First example he gave was President Eisenhower. When Eisenhower was commander in chief during World War II, he was seen as a great commander. He was seen by the media person a commander who knew his stuff. His media briefs were very detailed and well informed. But when he became president, same media found him that media his answers to the media questions were not good, not to the point, lacked substance. So what happened? Eisenhower used to take written questions when he was commander in chief. He was more geared towards reading. He has poor listening skills. When he became president, he started to take questions on the fly, and he couldn't understand the question. He was answering totally wrong questions, and he was not seen a good president. Now let's take example of another president, President Johnson. President Johnson was a great listener, but what he did is he inherited a team of writers. Before him, President Kennedy has formed a very good team of writers. President Kennedy was more geared towards reading. So when President Johnson started his presentations, his speeches, his media briefings, he was reading speeches written by other writers and he had no idea what these speeches were. So he looked very bad because his style was his mode of learning was listening and he was relying on reading. Another important tip the book gives about managing is, especially if you are reaching middle age, if you are a knowledge worker, chances are you are going to get bored. So you have been working in a company for 15 years, 20 years, you are going to get bored. So what the book recommends is that you should take up some hobby, some role in non-profit organization, so where you can contribute. That way you can get challenged. Some people switch the job, some people change their career to find some job which give them more challenge. But it recommends is like take some hobby in some organizations, uh, non-profit organization that profit that organization can get profited by your special skills, your leadership skills, your technical skills. There is something about special about knowledge workers, whereas manual workers, they do what they are told to do. Generally they retire in the same company, whereas knowledge workers, they outlive the organization where they work and they move on to the other organization. So knowledge workers has to be their chief executive officers, CEOs of their own. They have to manage themselves because this society doesn't care for them. Society is very geared towards thinking of people will work in one organization and they will retire in another organization. Second great tip from the book is you have to wash monkeys on your shoulder. What does that mean? As a team lead, manager, you have three type of work. One work is that is given to you by your boss. If you don't do this work, there is some cost for you. There's some penalty. Then there is a system related work. That means what your peers want from you. Again, there is some penalty. And third is discretionary work. This is the work you choose to do. This is the work your supervisor needs some help from you and you're spending a lot of time. So if you have to manage yourself, if you have to get the job done, you have to make sure that you don't do too much discretionary work. You have to manage your discretionary work so that you can focus more on work expected by your boss and peers. So what is this monkey on your shoulders? Let's see. You are walking on the hallway to attend some meeting and one of your team member comes and he says, I have a problem. You are not in a position to think about the problem, to listen him with great focus. You will say, I will look into this. What happens? He passed his monkey to you. Now he's sitting idle, gossiping, having tea, and waiting for you to find a solution. He will come after 2 hours and how is it going? Did you find solution? I'm waiting for you to find solution for me. And then you may ask him, why don't you send an email? You pass monkey back to him and he will go and send an email. Then he pass the monkey back to you. And the chances are other team members will come and they will say same thing and you will have a lot of monkeys on your shoulder and you are basically doing work which your team member should be doing and this is taking time away from doing work which you are supposed to do for your boss. So you have to really watch. So what are the solution to deal with monkey on your shoulder problem? First is, always make sure that your team members set up a meeting to discuss this monkey problem so that you can focus on the problem and suggest some solutions. Second is, maybe you can ask them, okay, you have a problem, what is the solution do you suggest? Can you find some solution? So you pass the responsibility back to your team members. So you have to make sure that monkeys are very less, you deal with the monkeys. Uh, if you should be always set up appointment to discuss the monkey, and if you suggest some problem, set up some expectation. They should give you feedback or status report on timely manner. And another thing, you have to make sure that your team members are empowered. They know how to take decisions. They know how to solve the they know how to solve the problems. Instead of feeding fish, teach them how to catch a fish. The third great tip from the book was, manage your energy, not time. So what happens when there is expectation of high productivity from us? We end up doing extra hours. Not much productivity can come by working extra hours. If you're working if you're working 12 hours, 14 hours, chances are you will be less productive next day. You have to really manage your energy. For me, I'm very productive during the daytime. So that is the time I should handle the critical, complex, high priority tasks. So it gives you some tips on how to make sure your energy is good, make sure you get a good sleep, make sure you are taking regular uh, healthy snack breaks, you're drinking good water, you're taking breaks, you are doing workout, and make sure you don't have negative emotions, you have positive emotions, and you check your value system. If you are late for the meetings, make sure you are 5 minutes early for the meetings. Make sure you are not multitasking. Make sure you are focusing on the task, making you're doing high priority tasks one at a time. So I really enjoyed book. It has really good tips how to manage yourself and be more productive and effective in the corporate world. So friends, if you like this video, like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel for your regular updates. Also connect with me on LinkedIn and Twitter, especially LinkedIn. If you like small summaries of the video, I will be posting a lot of small summaries of the video on LinkedIn. Thanks again.